Welcome class to Chapter 5, If Statements. In this lecture video, we'll cover the first four objectives: checking for equality and inequality, checking multiple conditions, checking whether a value is in a list or not in a list, and Boolean expressions. So let's begin on page 72, at the bottom of page 72, where we work with some assignments and equality symbols. So we're going to set up a variable called car, and we're going to assign it the value of BMW. Then we do an equality test using two equal signs to see if car is actually equal to BMW, and it returns back what we call a Boolean value of true. Well, let's see if we change the value of car to a different value, Audi, and do the same test of car equal BMW, we then get false. Okay, so let's try the next example of car with a capital A on Audi, and then we'll do our test of lowercase Audi, and we get false. So the point here is that not only is the test looking for the value, but it's also looking for the case sensitive of the value as well. We could go ahead and change that by changing car, the value that's in car, to lowercase. So we get lowercase, and then run our test, and then we get, we'd have to do it this way. Car equal car.lower, to that reassignment that we learned back in chapter 2, then do our test, and we get true. Okay, so just by running car.lower, it doesn't actually change the value unless we reassign it back. So with all these examples in the terminal, let's apply into Sublime. Okay, so here we have a list of Audi, BMW, Subaru, and Toyota. We have a for statement, which we learned back in chapter 4. So for car in cars, if car is equal to BMW, let's go ahead and print it in upper. And if it's not, let's just print it in title case. So here is our output, BMW being the only one that is in uppercase. Now if I were to go ahead and change this to something else and run it, now we'll see that Audi is the one. So based on the if test and whether it returns true or false is whether we do the statement that follows. So looking at conditional tests, our if statement, something has to be true or it's not, it's then false. So be careful when you're coding that when you use one equal sign, it is assigning something. Okay, so assigning something from the right over to the left. When we do equality, we're looking at two equal signs. When we look at inequality, we got an exclamation point and an equal sign. And again, it is case sensitive. So let's look at an example with the inequality using the exclamation point and the equal sign. And this is toppings. The requested topping is mushrooms. If requested topping is not equal to anchovies, okay, then we're going to print hold the anchovies. So is requested topping not equal to anchovies? Well, that yes, it's not. So this is going to return true. If statements only come to the statement that follows it if this condition right here equals true. If true, okay? And then we'll look at other situations where we can look at the false side of things or multiple if true statement types of situations. But in this particular example, this statement here has to be true. Well, requested topping is mushrooms, so if we put mushrooms right here, so if we were just to put this in here, is mushrooms not equal to anchovies? Nope, it's not equal to anchovies, so this whole statement is true. So again, it comes down here and does the print statement. Okay, so hold the anchovies is our result there. Okay, numerical expressions. We can come back over to our terminal to do some testing. We're going to assign age to be 18. And then we're going to say, is age equal to 18? So notice I'm not typing if here. I'm just doing the actual condition of the if to see if I get a true or false. Okay, so if we were to continue on in this example, we could say let's change age to be 19. Let's do what's on page 75. Oh, age equal 19, not 10. And then let's do the tests. Age less than 21, true. Age less than or equal to 21, true. Age greater than 21, false. Age greater than or equal to 21, false. Okay, so you can test your stuff here in the terminal, or you can, ultimately use Sublime too. Okay, so let's look at our magic numbers example. So here is a variable called answer. It's assigned 17, and is 17 not equal to 42? Yep, that is not the correct answer. Please try again. Checking multiple conditions. So when we have a situation where one situation needs to be true or false and the other situation needs to be true or false, this is what we call multiple conditions, or the AND, okay, the AND conjunction. So here we have variables age underscore 0, age underscore 1. And I'm going to return back to the terminal again to practice these. So variable age 0 equals 22. Age 1 is 18. Okay, so we have 22 and 18. Age 0 less than or equal to 21, and age 1 greater than or equal to 21. So if we look at that and just figure it out on our own, age greater than or equal to 21, yep, 22 is greater than or equal to 21. Age 1, is that greater than or equal to 21? No, because it's 18. So 18 is not greater, so we should get a value of false returned. So with true statements, what happens is that if either test fails, both tests fail. They evaluates to false because it's an AND condition. Just like if you told someone you need to do this and this, well, both of them need to be done. It's not an OR situation. So it's the same thing here. Only true if both tests evaluate to true. Okay, so let's see if we can go ahead and recreate that where they would both be true. So we need to actually reassign a value to age 1 to be 22, and then run the same test that we had before, and we get the value of true. Now on the flip side of that, we have the OR. OR has to have one be true. Okay, so do this or do this, and then you have a condition where the whole thing will be true. It only evaluates to false when both of the tests fail. Okay, so looking at our example again, so age 0 is still 22. We need to return age 1 back to 18, and then do our test. Trying to see if I can find a test here. Nope. There we go. Age 0 greater than or equal to 21, and age, yep. Okay, so this one returns false. Okay, and nope, sorry, that's wrong. Gotta put OR in here. It should return true. Okay, so now it returns true because age 0 is greater than or equal to 21. So only one side needs to be true. And then we go ahead and we make age 1 be 18 again. Run our test. And we get false. Okay, because now both of them are false. Okay, so try not to overthink it. Jot it down on a piece of paper. Put those values actually in place of variables sometimes, and that will allow you to think through the process. Checking whether a value is in a list. So to find out whether a particular value is already in a list, we simply just say, is that item in that list? Okay, so here we'll use our terminal again. So requested So that's our list with 3 items in it. Then we say, is mushrooms in requested toppings? And the answer is true. Okay. Now we'll put something in there that's not true. Pepperoni is not in requested toppings. So that's how we can go about doing a test. And again, if you're using this in actual code, you'd be throwing some if statements before it, but we'll cover that here in a second. Checking whether a value is not in a list. So we have a list of banned users, and the user's name is Marie in the second line. If Marie is not in banned users, then we go ahead and print out that she can post a response. So here is that example. So Marie is not in banned users, so we should get Marie, you can post a response if you wish. Now if we were to change this value just simply to be maybe Andrew, notice we get no output because we haven't given the alternate not true set of things, which we'll talk about in our second video. A Boolean expressions is a conditional test, and we've been doing this since the very beginning of this video. Boolean value is either true or false. It provides an efficient way to track the state of a program. So if this condition is true, then let's go ahead and do this. If this condition is false, let's go ahead and do this. And so here's some examples of maybe variables that you would have and have Boolean values assigned to them. So game active, it's true. Can edit, false. So if we do an if test, if game active equal true, let's do this. If can edit is equal to true, they can do this, but since this one is false, this person can't do that. So Boolean expressions are used quite often just to break off into the decision structures that we need to break off into. So I'm going to end this video talking about the first lab, and it's 5-1 conditional tests. It says write a series of conditional tests, print a statement describing each test, and your prediction for the results of each test. Your code should look something like this. So we practice this in the terminal when we set our cars to BMW and to Audi. So car equals Subaru, and then it says print, so this is just a print statement. Is car equal to Subaru, and then you have to give the prediction. I predict true. Okay, and then the next print statement actually does the equality of that. Car equals Subaru, that's either going to return true or false. And then the next one, it says is car equal Audi, I predict false, print is car equal to Audi. Okay, so it says look closely at your results and make sure you understand why each line evaluates to true or false. Create at least 10 tests. They don't have to be about cars. You don't even have to start this thing with cars at all. I just need at least 10 tests that evaluate to true and false. So 5 for true and 5 for false. Okay, so if you have any questions on this first part of chapter 5, please let me know. Thank you.